All right. Welcome, good afternoon, and welcome to the RBN Roundtable and the Revolutionary Blackout Network. My name is James. I am here with the wonderful Sabby Sabs, as well as Nick, aka Chocolate Thunder. I'd like to warm welcome to all of you to the Roundtable, and just to let you guys know, the Roundtable is live every single Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please make sure to click that thumbs up, and please do not forget to smash that subscribe button and click the bell icon because the algorithm doesn't like us. So, Sabs, Nick, my people.
Good to be back every Thursday, especially when we meet on Thursday. Always a lot of fun stuff to talk about, especially on these roundtables. We got a lot of content for you today. We also have International Leftist Coalition tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. So, man, Thursday, you guys get a lot of stuff. So, show some love, hit a like, share. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, guys, I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at Hash's comment. He said, I need more women dates.
He talking about for the I don't know, whatever. I must have missed the comment. Anyway, yeah, Flying Cost Live. Hit the bell. A lot of people tell us they don't get the notification, so I'm glad he was able to catch it for this show today. But JB, what we got on the agenda today? What's popping?
Okay, so let me go to my bookmarks here because I got a couple things bookmarked. So be prepared. I am going to show this as our first story. Let me share my screen for you guys. Sorry, I'm just too nutty today. All right. Performative decided to say Medicare for All is officially co-sponsored by 118 members of the House.
Lord.
So glad to have Representative Shontel Brown on board as we build this movement to finally guarantee healthcare as a human right. What? Hold on. Did I miss something? Sabby, Nick, what am I missing here?
I gotta say, what was funny to me about this is that Pramila Jayapal says she's a progressive. So if she says she's a progressive, why is she promoting the Democratic establishment candidate instead of promoting Nina Turner, who's supposed to be the progressive candidate for that district? Anybody? I also think it's funny too. Shontel Brown now all of a sudden is supporting Medicare for all because it's election season. But when she was running earlier, she didn't support Medicare for all.
What does that say? You have to lie and say you support this. Man, they're not even trying anymore, James. They're not even trying anymore. They're not even trying. They openly donate to CIA Democrats with the donations of the working class. And now they are doing this, which shows co-sponsoring a bill means jack shit. Kamala, it was revealed that she co-sponsored Medicare for All because she knew she was going to run for president and didn't know anything about the bill. So This is what these people do. But as a progressive, as a leftist, supposedly, you're supposed to be able to acknowledge this and call this out instead of being an agent that is used to give them PR. The progressives in Congress are unapologetic PR agents of the neoliberal Democratic Party now. They're even betraying their own by doing this, Nina Turner.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like what Meg says here. She says, bullshit. Ask her what's in the bill. It's clearly a PR stunt.
It's crazy, man. This is just ridiculous too. And I don't know if Pramila Jayapal actually controls her Twitter account or not, but even if she doesn't, like, did she honestly think that people weren't going to recognize the hypocrisy with this? Like, really? You're not going to promote Nina Turner, who is for Medicare for All, who's been for Medicare for All. You're going to promote the Democratic establishment candidate. What a slap in the face, man.
Yeah.
What a slap in the face. You got progressives working against progressives, man.
Yes. Speaking of Pramila Jayapal, what a joke she is. For like, what's worse? Taking money for corporations, openly being against working class policies, and then it's kind of a Darwin effect where if you vote for them, it's like kind of ask for it. Like I understand that a lot of people get tricked, but if you're informed, like bro, can you really complain that if you vote for Jim Crow Joe and you complain about what's going on right now, right? But think about it, Pramila Jayapal and the progressives. They take money from working class people. Single, like imagine if you're a single mom of 2 kids on a tight budget. I always use that example because that would tug at the heartstrings, right? They don't care if I waste my money. But if you're a single mom with 2 kids, that help you get the point. Imagine a single mom with 2 kids in debt, barely making it by, if that. And then they send money to you because they expect a return on investment on you fighting. So you guys understand, Pramila Jayapal wrote the Medicare for All bill, and I'm gonna get you in there, JB. I think you got something to laugh at here. But she wrote that bill with no intention to fight for it. No intention to fight for it. But what's this? What's this, JB?
Read it. Go ahead. Read it out loud.
Let's be clear. Israel is not a. Are you serious? Israel is not an apartheid state. They are literally bulldozing and stealing homes of Palestinians as we speak. Literally by block. They're doing it block by block. They are forcibly evicting Palestinians from their homes. It doesn't get more apartheid than that, right? God damn. Any mischaracterization otherwise attempt to delegitimize Israel, a robust democracy. How can you be a democracy if you're a 2-tier society? Apartheid states are inherently not democracies. You about to set me off, James. You know exactly what to show me to set me off.
I know.
But this is Chantel Brown, the neoliberal. This is the standard Democrat. This is what they believe. Like the farthest left position we'll get on Israel is Bernie, and he's still a Zionist. He's a progressive Zionist.
Yeah.
He believes in 2-state solution, but he believes we should be kinder to Palestinians.
Yeah.
He's still a Zionist at the end of the day. But go ahead, James.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm not actually going to be fair on this, but to be fair, someone who responded to me, who is a Chantel Brown supporter, who has since deleted their Twitter, by the way, they decided to come after me and say, well, Chantel Brown, she was for Medicare for All. And in her, I'm trying to find the picture because I did actually took a screenshot because they deleted their Twitter, so now it's not up there anymore. But they highlighted that portion, that sentence in her policy for healthcare. But when you look at it, it's like a throwaway thing because she believes in a public option and strengthening the ACA all before that. And it's like, okay, so it's like, oh, well, if we get Medicare for all, then I'll vote for it, whatever. So it's like, wait a minute. And then my biggest question was, actually, you know what? I'll share it just so that everybody can see, because this was my question. And people can quote me on it. I said, this is how people get played in real time. Chantel Brown didn't even support the Medicare for All. I was supposed to say the Medicare for All march a few months ago after winning her special election. Now the election is for the seat is happening, and she wants to tacitly co-sponsor it. She didn't even come to the Medicare for All march then. Neither did come to the Medicare for All march. So if she truly was a supporter of Medicare for All, where was she at, fam? Oh, she wasn't there. She didn't.
She was too busy engaging in electoral politics, James.
But here's my question, though. If she supported Medicare for All, why am I just now finding out about it? I'm just now finding out about it. If she supposedly supported Medicare for all, I like to think that I got my ear to the ground, maybe, hopefully, but yet for some reason, this person is like supported Medicare for all. When? Hey, CJ.
What's up, man? What's up, man?
Yeah.
Hey, Sabrina. Hey, Nick.
You know, when I like saying it like that, did she actually support it? Because I'm just now finding out about it. People in the chat, did you guys know that she supported Medicare for all?
Nope.
Did you? Savvy, my homie. When?
You can't say it like that. I know she supported Israel. I know that much. I know she supported Israel.
Not Palestinians, though.
Nope.
She's rebranding herself because she has to fight off the only challenge she has is a progressive primary challenger, Nia Turner. Because now that she's part of the club, and that's why people was inherently mad at the Justice Democrats when they started. Now they happy because they know that they are the Democrat PR machine. But when progressives started primarying Democrats, they said you're supposed to wait your turn. Like there's a hierarchy in office. Like and that's the same thing as in Kansas City. You're not going to primary Emmanuel Cleaver. People in St. Louis was furious when Cori Bush primary William Lancey Clay. No, you have to wait your turn. You have to climb the ladder. And so they know they won't have a neoliberal challenger because that is the code of ethics among the neoliberal career group. So Chantel know the only challenge she will get would be Nia Turner. So she has to. It will be easy for her to win. All you have to do is pretend that you support progressive ideas, and since progressive Justice Democrats are so weak, they refuse to highlight the difference between them and the Democrat Party, if there's any. But they refuse to do it. So they allow the Democrats to hijack their message, and it's always successful because of that. Because they're unwilling to call out why we should leave and resist the Democrat Party. They failed to really make the difference between them two. So Chantel, all they have to do is say, I support Medicare for all. I support this. I support $15 minimum wage. And then people are like, shit, I don't know who to vote for. I'm confused. That's all they have to do. Meanwhile, if you actually was calling out the crimes of the Democrat Party, instead of saying, yo, we didn't give you this if you don't support the Democrat Party, instead of saying, yo, don't support the Democrat Party because they are the party of the police state. They're a party of imperialism. She's a Zionist. They're anti-Black. You see the difference they don't make, right?
Yeah. What's up, bro?
This is like an old school Thursday panel because back in the day we used to have everyone, but schedules change.
Schedules
this
change.
Reminds me of the old school Thursday panel when we have everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm always late.
Chocolate. Wait, we got Chocolate Thunder, Romy Rome, and Waves up in here. That's my new name for CJ, Waves.
Oh, right on. Hey, I'm gonna share my screen so I can show you my reaction to the same Pramila Jayapal. Is that how you say her name? Pramila.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I said, oh, look, more so-called progressives shielding for corporate Democrats. Do you think Pramila doesn't know Chantel's support is virtue signaling? Pramila knows this is performative, yet she still gives her props. Like Pramila knows that Chantel is doing this exactly for what Nick describes, which is she knows her only challenger is someone to her left, so she has to virtue signal to her left. So she knows this is not real.
Yeah.
She knows this. She knows how the game is played. If we can figure it out on the inside, I'm sure she knows this. Yes, she does this. This is progressives keeping the Overton window in the place that it is now. This is her opportunity to shine a light on, hey, this is virtue signaling. Go ahead and vote for Nina. This is her chance. And she's choosing not to do that. She's siding with the party. So and I forget who said it, progressives go to the Democratic Party to die.
That was Shama Sawant.
There you go.
How can anyone take these people serious after the California healthcare fight? Like
right.
then that if there was any heartbeat alive in the take over the Democratic Party strategy, that when it should have died. Like at this point, the leniency is over. Because I try not to go hard on people, right? Like if you're just an ordinary person, because I know people are trying their best, even if they're misled, right? We got to be able to learn to disagree. Be like, all right, you misled on this. Let's talk about this, right? But after the California thing, after that, once that example is brought up, if you still trying, they have a supermajority of progressive Democrats. You guys understand the guy who pulled the bill from California to prevent the party from voting on the bill in order. So just like Pramila Jayapal, he was protecting the neoliberals in California. That guy was on the Bernie Sanders campaign and gave multiple speeches in favor of Medicare for all. At what point do we have basic revolutionary discipline and call out the infiltrators? Like, are we going to learn our lesson as a left movement, or are we going to keep letting it happen?
Nope.
Are we going to keep letting it happen?
They're going to let Newsom
happen. Go ahead,
Newsom shield him. I'm just agreeing with you. They're going to let Newsom shield him because he's shielding the Democrats who was going to block the bill. That's why he don't want to vote on it. He's going to shield. I'm like, bro, we don't even need. But I don't know. Whatever. I feel like this something Jay should be speaking on because he got to live through that shit. I know I was going to get fucked either way, but y'all had, man, it got to be quicker than that. What was that old commercial, man? Man, that was fucked up.
I still think Shama Sawant should primary challenge Pramila Jayapal. And I told Socialist Alternative that. I said, I think that Shama Sawant should primary challenge Jayapal because Shama Sawant is the socialist and Jayapal is what she claims to be a progressive, but she's obviously has not been legislating like a progressive. I would like to see that challenge.
I just want to give attention to this tweet. This is hilarious. Guys, she tweeted about Medicare for all. Why is that not good enough for you? That's supporting Medicare for all.
That is the standard they use. CJ, you're muted, by the way.
Hang on.
This is what I mean by support means nothing. It literally means it has no meaning in politics. They can say Joe Biden supports $15 minimum wage, and look what the supporters of $15 minimum wage did. You get what I'm saying? So where do we have to go if the people who say they're supporting $15 minimum wage doesn't even put up a fight for it?
All right, I'm gonna get raw up in here. People, have you ever had somebody tell you I love you just to get in your pants? Same situation. Let's be real. Let's call a thing a thing. Yep. They just want you to support them, even though they don't really mean it. It's like, what? Stop falling for it. Stop it. It's just. I'm not even gonna say anything.
But JB,
because I'm gonna get my behind in trouble.
He beats me, JB. He beats me. Yes, but he doesn't beat me like Johnny used to. And he said he's sorry. He won't pass another crime bill.
Well, I don't want us to making. Hang on, I don't want it to seem like we're making light of like domestic violence or anything like that. But we're looking at the ridiculousness of just rhetoric. They're just saying it without actually it's like Pramila Jayapal. You wrote the damn bill. Prove it. Prove it. Put your money where your mouth is. But you don't want to because do you even agree with it? It's like, come on. Look, you're more popular than some of these right-wing senators. I'm pretty sure that you're more popular than, what's his face Manchin, right? And you could actually you do realize you have a bully pulpit, but you don't use it because maybe somehow you think that bipartisanship is a good thing within this country. But every single time we see bipartisanship, we get screwed.
I hope you guys see the analogy, and that's why it was so on point what Rome said. It's the analogy towards abusive relationships. If you are an activist who actually give a fuck about these issues, imagine if you're a California healthcare activist. Imagine how many hours that a lot of I'm talking about the people who put in the most work. Like the people imagine the people who put the shit on the ballot, put the pressure on the politicians. The people imagine how many hours that took, and then they just said fuck you at the end. Like you guys are in an abusive relationship. I used to say, and I still say this, right? Progressives are in an abusive relationship with the Democratic Party. Now it upgraded. Time changed. Now you got activists that are in an abusive relationship with the progressives, the elected progressives, right? Because they don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about marching with you. They don't care about fighting for you. The policies that are most important for you. They said fuck imperialism as a whole. Overall, they said fuck the police, fighting against the police state. They fund the police state. If you're a black activist, indigenous activist, they said fuck you that way. So there's an abusive relationship that activists have with. Well, I guess I shouldn't just say progressive. I should say the Democratic Party at this point. Like, stop calling them anything else other than the Democratic Party. Like, if you are defending the squad and Pramila Jayapal, that means you're de facto defending the Democratic Party. Because this is what they do. They are covering for Shontel Brown here as the same way the progressives in California covered for the neoliberal California Democrats by not holding this up to a vote. Because I explained when I broke this down, this was that vote. The only reason why they got that far was because they built the largest coalition in California history. Like I showed the list of all the people who supported it, all the workers, all the different movements, and they said they went to see people who vote against it so they can come out massively in support against them. They said this literally weeks leading up to this. That's why he killed the bill.
Or the veil. Mm-hmm.
And then he said some bullshit like this will protect the movement. That's the same thing Pramila Jayapal said when she was asked about forced to vote. If we forced to vote right now, it would be the end of our movement. Guys, they were doing every CIA tactic on the advanced level, on the highest level, and I see people apologize for it. I see. Well, what can they do? What can they do? They tried their best. Did they? Did they really?
But what I think another thing it says is that these people, and when I say these people, I mean politicians, they know exactly what people want, so they can't pretend like they don't want. Because look what she's choosing to co-sponsor. She's choosing to co-sponsor Medicare for all because she knows that's a popular item that Nina Turner is going to be bringing up in the campaign. So she has to get on board with saying, I'm for this thing that I know everybody wants, or the majority of people, vast majority of people want. So what does that say about Democrats? That they know exactly what people are begging for because people are dying. And they're just pretending to be for it. You know how like sadistic that is?
Yeah.
You're just pretending to be for something that people are dying to get. When about the California vote, and then I'll pass it back to you guys about the California vote. I can't remember who was telling me about it, but they said that they was up there 6 hours waiting for the vote because they thought it was going to be approved, or they thought they were going to see the vote at least. And then for them to say, no, we're pulling the vote. People were sitting there. They were sitting there for like 6 hours waiting for word. That's democracy. California Democrats, there you go. That's what electing a bunch of progressive Democrats do. Nothing. It's the same. So, but I'm going to pass it back, but I do got to go pick up my girl. I'm going to go do that and then join the group again. So I'll step out for like 30 minutes real quick.
I want to show you guys what the progressives, and this is what they do. And I broke this down before, but I want to share this to my brothers and sisters, right? Check this out. This is the guy, Ash Karai, who was the Bernie progressive, right? Here's him giving a speech at the Bernie Sanders rally. Big Medicare for all advocate. This is the release. However, it became clear that we did not have the votes necessary for the passage, and I decided the best course of action is not to put AB 1400 for a vote today. What? Like I said it before, my boy Pat the Burner said, yeah, wouldn't it help to know the people who voted against it? What the fuck is wrong with you people? This is the progressive. And then you guys want to know what's funny? I want to find the tweet, but she deleted it. Nina Turner came out with a tweet praising Ask Karai. And I looked for it, and apparently she deleted it. Do you guys have a link? I was looking for it earlier. I think she deleted it.
She always either
she's done that. She's done that before, by the way.
I think Zoya was telling me that she deleted the tweet. I want fact check me, Chad, if I'm wrong on that, but I think she told me she deleted it. And I was just looking for it. I can't find it. But that's the guy that Nina praised. So they're praising the guy who shelled a healthcare bill instead of fighting the neoliberal establishment that you guys ran on fighting. And now you got Pramila Jayapal doing PR for the Chantel Brown. How you guys not like? Isn't the grift obvious at this point?
Mm-hmm.
I think it should be obvious, but there's so many people. It's like, and we talked about this problem before. I think I'll talk about it with James. Like people, they're like addicted to the rush of electoral politics, right? Like the idea of taking over the Democratic Party is thrilling to them. Like, oh my God, we're gonna primary them. We're gonna be on the news. MSNBC is gonna cover it, and it's gonna be like it's a thrilling prospect to people, and they just don't want to give it up.
But Nick, they didn't have the votes though, bro. You can't put it up for a vote if they don't have the votes for it, right?
That's defense for the do not get twisted. That's what it is. I'm trying to see if I can find a list. I tweeted about it. I had a list of the people the amount of organizations that supported this bill, and that's why. And I have another theory as well. One of the reasons why I think they did kill the vote, and I don't know, maybe this is way more theory than because I don't have a ton to back this up. But I also think because they don't want to validate the strategy of force to vote.
Yeah, of course.
Imagine they did force the vote, and then you had activists and organizers. Sorry, Ron, I'll pass right to you. But imagine if you had a ton of activists and organizers rally against the people who voted no on the healthcare bill, and the people who voted yes on the healthcare bill was elevated and uplifted. We would look back at it and be like, that's exactly what we wanted for force to vote. The same way that Cenk Uygur does everything he can to make sure he doesn't say the word force to vote, they got to do everything they can to delegitimize that strategy moving forward. So they won't even do something that will help people if it means force to vote. Because then we will look at them like, why didn't you force to vote in 2020 when it came to actually holding Nancy Pelosi accountable? But anyway, that's just my theory. We have some super chats, right? Did we read them all? Here's another one from Vincenzo. Thank you for $5. Putting black people in the first person with colonizers and imperialists is a sure sign of black political class handiwork. I need to have Margaret Kennedy back on. Love the work that she does at Black Agenda Report. Thank you for the $5. Thank you for $5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Caleb Maupin on Saturday. You guys, that's been one of my most requested guests. Like people like have Caleb Maupin on. Caleb Maupin. So I'm gonna have Caleb on. We're gonna talk about what happened in Syria. They bombing the shit out of kids. We're gonna talk about the boutique imperialists. But anyway, that's my plug for Saturday.
I remember talking to Sebi about this. Like, we was on the phone. We was talking about how these motherfuckers be critiquing us and talk about, we don't want it to. We don't want to put it up so it can get killed and die and whatnot. Like, who's gonna vote against giving Medicare for all to everyone, homeless, the undocumented? Like, who's gonna openly have the balls to say, yeah, fuck you? You know what I'm saying? Because they do it behind our back like they are doing now. They are shielding their friends from criticism from the proletarian, but who's gonna openly say that? Because now, like, as we can see, the same people that you just explained co-sign and actually put voices on and ears and eyes on Medicare for all are the same people that's keeping it down. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it away from us behind closed doors. So who's like me and Sebi was saying, like who the fuck is really gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? Because they got balls, but not like that where it's gonna bring races of people together. You know, that's gonna bring them there a lot of people together where it's gonna be like, all right, they voted against it. Now you have everybody hating these politicians and shit. That's a can of worms that they are not willing to open because you will never be able to put that lid back on.
Yeah.
Thanks for Arthur. Sorry, JB. I'll just read this. I'll pass right to you. RBN is a force to be reckoned with. Straight up changing the game. Thank you for the super chat. JB, back to you. We got one more, but JB, anything you want to add?
I love what Rome just said because it's basically so here's a scenario. Let's say, for instance, somebody is like, I have a vote for Medicare for all in the House, and we have a majority in the House, we got a majority in the Senate, we have a president in the White House. All right, I'm gonna put it on for a floor vote. And I dare you to vote against it. I dare you. Go ahead, vote against it, and watch people come after you. And that is was true. It's like, do you really have the guts to vote against Medicare for all? Like, they know, they see the numbers, they know how popular it is.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Medicare for all is not even good enough to me. I actually want a full nationalization.
Yes,
but even still, that's a step in the right direction. So, you know, to basically put it there, it's kind of like putting it there. It's like, it's almost like a trap that they can't resist. And it's like, what are you gonna do? I dare you. And this is one of the reasons why forced to vote was such a big thing, was because it was basically like, okay, so if they vote against it, then they showed their whole ass. But people are like, but we don't have the votes for it. Who cares if we don't have the votes for it? The people need to see who are.
And remember the niggas that was critiquing us about this shit. It was like, when we was already calling out politicians for not being hard on Medicare for all, it was like, well, we have over 100 sponsors and we have over 100 co-sponsors. Yes. But now look, nigga, all them co-sponsors don't mean a damn thing. All them co-sponsors was using the same carrot, the same stick on that that's attached to the that got a string attached to it. That string is attached to a carrot, and your ass the horse. Mm-hmm. They on your back, riding you the whole way, promising you. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. How many metaphors do you want for me to say that you're getting fucked in the ass? But something not the good way, not the good way, the unexpected way. Because a lot of you people don't even be seeing it coming. I don't understand it.
Thank you for $20. Give them the boot. RBN activists, those active in mutual aid, and union, non-union protesters give me hope. Keep up the good work. And that's the power I want you guys to take from our message. If you want to engage, especially in local politics, go ahead, man. But you guys got more power than you guys give yourself credit for. People like, if you don't believe in electoral politics, then what? Then what? Build community. Shit. There are a lot of different options that we have. That's what we want to spread awareness on other options as well, right? So, thank you for super chat.
Debbie,
should we transition to the next story?
I want to get Sabby's thoughts first before we.
No, I agree with everything you guys said. We can move it to the next story.
Okay.
All right, sleepy as hell. She like, nigga, I just got off work. Let's go.
I was in a meeting that was supposed to be 15 minutes and it ended up being an hour and a half.
I don't blame you.
Hey. I know what that's like.
RBN meetings.
So
how you know I was Cherokee? Well, my grandmother is.
Okay. So I don't. Okay, let's get to that, because this is something that we've been trying to tell everybody what's going on, like the real deal is, but people just didn't want to listen. Why is there a commercial? God, I can't stand Twitter. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to get you guys' reaction to this, and then I will see y'all on the other side. Oh, dang it. JB, what the hell, man? Get it together. Get it together, JB. What the hell is wrong with matter with you? JB,
the lack of healthcare, man.
JB is getting on my damn nerves. Okay. See y'all on this side. Other side.
Mitch, I don't want to hurt your reputation, but we really are friends. and that is not an epiphany we're having here at the moment. You've always done exactly what you've said. You're a man of your word, and you're a man of honor. Thank you for being my friend. Mitch, I don't want to hurt your reputation, but we really are friends.
We really are friends, Mitch. We really are friends. Friends. How many of us have them? Friends. Ones we can depend on.
Let's be
friends.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. It's like I said before, they can go to the same country club. It doesn't surprise me. Remember, Bernie Sanders said Joe Biden was his good friend. My good friend Joe.
That's when.
Meanwhile, Biden will say, "Oh, that he just some socialists I beat." It's kind of embarrassed by Bernie, right? Like Bernie hypes him up so much. Like imagine you some dude is like, "Yo, this dude, like Ron was my best friend, man. Me and Ron go back since 1962. Me and Ron my homie." And then someone asked Ron about me. He's Ron like, some dude I beat.
I beat the socialists.
Like, it's kind of embarrassing, isn't it? That's like the relationship between Bernie and Biden, right?
What the hell?
Bernie's like, Biden, my BFF. Biden like, this is some dude I ran against.
But even during the debates, Biden was hoeing this nigga. He was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? He did nothing. I did this, I did that. And Bernie be like, yeah, Joe's my good friend. But what he don't seem to understand is, like, man, Bernie.
I just want to kindly point out what you're being misleading. Instead of saying you're a liar, you're being misleading, sir. About it. But anyway, whenever I see stories like this, it's always funny when I see like liberal reactions, and I'm like, where have you been? Like, because they see this stuff like, oh my God, Joe Biden say he's friends with Mitch McConnell. Like, I see people extremely shocked by this stuff. I'm like, do you guys really think they hate each other? Like people, whenever they see Kamala Harris, remember when she gave a fist bump to Lindsey Graham on the House floor, Senate floor, or whatever? People was like, "What? Kamala Harris likes Lindsey Graham?" Meanwhile, we was like, "Why are you surprised?" You think they really hate each other over these disagreements, over these little petty theater fights in Washington D.C.? Do you really think that Mitch McConnell and Joe Biden beefing behind the scene? No, it's a game to them. They probably laugh. They be laughing at us like, man, that's funny how you got that Supreme Court in, man. That was a good chess maneuver. The way that Nancy Pelosi, they probably like laugh behind the scene about all this shit that happened. And that's
in good times, in bad times, I'll be on your side forevermore. That's what friends are for, right? Right?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
They are friends. I mean, shit.
Some of them, like their kids grew up together and went to school together and everything. They go to family like dinners and cookouts together.
Clintons and the Trumps. All them motherfuckers.
Two cheeks on the same ass, and when you get down to the middle of it, it's just full of shit. That's big.
That is a good analogy. I mean, shit, I can't think of
me and my analogies, yeah. But
I wish I could find the receipt, man.
I'm sorry, Sabby. Oh God, I'm so terrible. Oh.
JB, do you write all of these down? You should write all of these analogies down. I'm just saying.
No, I don't write them down at all. Look, Notori says he's dead. I'm sorry, Notori. I'm killing people in the comments. And guess what? I'm not even high, people.
My weed man need to hurry up, but we got so much snow out here. I ain't trying to rush him. We might answer the phone.
Yeah.
Drive off the damn freeway. No one needs these.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, to be serious though, people need to realize, like for instance, people kept going, "Oh, we're gonna move Biden to the left," and it's like, what? No, you're not. No, you're not. Look at who he's buddy with, and
this Reagan.
Yeah. Oh, we got to chat. A. Ross says, I live in Queensbridge among thousands of disenfranchised people. How do I radicalize / organize my neighborhood? So much pro-capitalist propaganda here. That's a good question.
I mean, shit, yo, people are, if they already disenfranchised, I'm pretty sure, like, all they really need is a nigga to put 1 and 2 together for them. You know, you just go from there. Keep on talking to random people in your neighborhood. That's how I started. Just start talking to people in gas station stores. You know, start really getting something going. You know, so next time we see each other, we can we have something that we relate to. We're poor. We're down here. We need to rise up together, and then, you know, that's when we might come together. What we might think might work politically and on the ground or whatnot. But if they already disenfranchised and already poor and down, that's the easy part. You know what I'm saying? They already did all the hard work for you, was breaking them people down, because they capitalism, once these people can't work anymore and stuff like that, they just throw them away. But we can, you know, saying really using people on our side, you know, everybody, you know, no matter what they do, if they're old, disabled, whatever the fuck it is, talk to them. And then you start your organizations and your little group. It can be a word of mouth group or a gang or whatever the fuck. You're going to be called a terrorist anyway. So you get your little terrorist organization together. You know, start having those daily, weekly meetings. What y'all going to do for this and how y'all going to help these people and those people. It don't take much. All it takes for you to go out there and talk shit.
Sabby?
Agreed. I mean, like, I think the biggest thing is, I mean, like Rome said, if they already poor and disenfranchised, then they already see it, like see the failures of capitalism. But what you have to be careful with not believing or not like falling for is when people say things to you that make you believe that it's your fault that you're in that situation. So that's the thing that you have to be careful with. Because a lot of people believe that. They believe that they're in that position because of something that they did wrong, or maybe they should have studied harder, maybe they should have gone to college, maybe they should have done, but you can do all those things and still end up in that situation. Look how many people are in student loan debt right now, medical debt right now, that did everything that people say that you're supposed to do and still are in a struggling situation financially. So I think that's the biggest thing is, like, don't believe that it's your fault that you're in that situation.
I think you guys struggle also because you guys engage with hyper-partisans all the time. Because like when I talk to people in Rome, he talks to people on the streets. I will give him speeches in black barbershops in South Carolina talking to conservative black people that was like, yeah, we should have health care. For what? Free public broadband? Free internet. I don't have no internet. Yeah, I'm down for that. So there's this, because you guys can't flip liberals, because I told you guys, people who are just liberals, they are hard to flip.
Yep.
A right-wing culture warrior goon who watched Ben Shapiro every day, that's going to be hard to flip. Someone asked me on one of my live streams before, like, why aren't you interested in flipping Trump supporters? Because I was like, why should I focus on this fucking fringe minority? We had most Americans who don't vote. Most Americans don't vote, and then you look at Americans who do vote. I want to focus on the ones who interested in third parties, or maybe the person who voted Republican because their family did, not because they like Trump. There's a difference between someone who just vote Republican or someone who vote Democrat out of habit. There's a difference between that and someone who has a red hat on that says MAGA. Like you're gonna have a hard time flipping the guy with the MAGA hat on, but the guy who just vote Republican because his dad vote Republican, but he's kind of like, man, it's kind of weird what's going on. I had conversations with these people. So my main thing is directly to the question. I guess to take a little bit of knowledge, but just point out the fact that all the things we find for is popular, and other countries have them. I talk about imperialism. I talk about war. Like the liberal consistency, they always say, don't talk about foreign policy when we talk to people. And that is them purposely giving you bad advice. Because I flipped many like black people against Obama, just telling them about all the people he bombed. You can get people interested in anti-establishment politics by bringing up the fact that we fund the Pentagon almost $800 billion a year, and that's money that should be in your neighborhood. I had conversations with apolitical people who don't know shit about politics, and I just explained to them, I'm like, yo, this is how much you spend on our military. And they be like, what? Because most people don't know. Like, most people don't know. All you have to do is say the number. They be like, what? And they're like, yo, imagine that number going to our community. Most people that's already to see this planet. And then you start talking about healthcare. Then you start talking about the billionaire class. Then you can start slow rolling stuff. But that's just one map. But that's my answer to the question.
Yep, because I even talk to people, black people that like the police, until I tell them how much of that budget is actually cutting into our funding for education for black students. So it's either or. I'm like, what you want, better for your kids or better for the cops? Because they're going to be good. We give them damn near billions of dollars a year in Detroit. That's fucking crazy. So, wouldn't you rather have clinics around here, instead of the police coming around here doing wellness checks and fucking us up, shooting our dogs? Wouldn't you rather have, somebody from the medical field come out here and check on your schizophrenia, your brother, mother, auntie, whatever the fuck it is? We got to relate to people. You got to, but it's not as hard as these people will make you believe. They only make this shit look hard because it's too easy.
Yep.
And they don't want you out here yapping your mouth and being mad about everything and getting other people mad about things that they're living through.
It's easier for us to build a working class coalition because people are hungry for that. The people that have a hard time flipping people to their side are the partisans, are liberal. I share stories of me flipping conservative voters, and one way I got my foot in is when I'm like, yo, dude, this Republican Party thing you support, they're con men, they're con artists. Donald Trump is lying to you. Then their go-to, because this is what both sides do, they will say, well, what about Barack Obama? What about Joe? And then I'll be like, fuck them. And then that's my leg in. But if you're a liberal and you like preaching Democratic Party talking points, and you say we got vote blue no matter who, hey, we just vote blue no matter who, man, things get better. Oh man, Nancy Pelosi, the squad, they're trying their best. Bro, that's not winning over the working class, bro. The average working person will punch you in the face for saying stupid shit. Like, all we gotta do is just vote blue no matter who. That's hard to do. Talking about building community, giving people health care, that's what people want to hear.
What? Yeah, that's one of the things too. That's one of the things I learned when I lived down south. It's harder to like flip people or to convince people that are in the cities. Like if you're in North Carolina, like Raleigh, like Charlotte, like Durham, like that are in the cities that are the diehard go blue people, it is harder to change their mind. But once you leave those cities and you go out to like those rural areas, like in North Carolina, if you go out to the mountains, you go out there near Asheville and stuff like that, those are the people that voted for Bernie out in like the rural parts. So it's like, you have to go talk to people that I feel it's more of a sense of urgency for them to have like Medicare for all, to have like, student loan debt canceled and things like that. You need to go talk to people that live in communities where the internet sucks. Not everybody has broadband like in this country. Like, I mean, Meg used to talk to us about this a lot, but like, you need to go out there and talk to those people too. And a lot of times I feel like those people are ignored. A lot of times I feel like people focus on people in the cities.
And remember to always unionize your organizations the best way, or if you build an organization and people want to unionize around you, let it be, because this is how the USSR came to be when they was going around talking to different unions and really putting them together, and they become a stronghold. So if you're going to build organizations, groups, and whatnot, make sure that you have your people that you're going to need for lawyers, backing, funding, whatever the fuck it is, unionize, and then go on to the next city over. You might find another group that's unionized or organized, and y'all get together, and it's going to be a domino effect throughout your community or your Midwest, South, whatever the fuck it is, wherever the fuck you're at. It's going to be a domino effect, and we can get those same people that you have under your union we can get them better jobs, better wages, benefits, shit like that, you know, protection from their jobs and with their jobs that they currently have at the time if they was going to keep them. But yeah, this is how we can get a communist nation going, about going local, building organizations, unions, connecting those unions to one. This is how we can have USSR 2.0, you should say, because way better weakness nowadays.
I'm not sure if I got to this super chat, and if not, then I'm sorry.
Yeah, we still need this one. You go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I changed my. I think you may say I changed my name again, not my nick.
Change me, bro.
That's how I read it too. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
You looking good,
I was the Replicarian. Thought this was easier and better. Now you can see my face. I got a hat like Rome. Okay. Nice to see you. Yeah. And did I already get to this? I think we did already.
Yeah, we did. Thank you, Arthur.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure I get that. Now, I do have another story. It just came to my attention 3 minutes ago. I think we need to talk about it.
Is it breaking news?
Not necessarily breaking. It's not hot tea. It's warm tea by now. But I haven't seen, I haven't touched on it. And I think this person has too many people with eyes and ears that watch him, and that they're taking what he says as fact, and that he needs to be debunked. It just needs to happen. But I like this person. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Let me see.
Hold on, you breaking up, JB.
All right. Can you hear me?
Oh shit. All right, I'm gonna hear this nigga and I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette because this nigga ain't about to make me mad.
Motherfucker. I can't.
Okay.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Now y'all know I don't believe in censorship, but I do believe in debunking people. So this is something that we need to be debunked.
Yeah, this is how it's done. Instead of calling for censorship, you just fucking intellectually destroy these people, right? So Dr. Malone, this black doctor, you can just beat him in a debate. But sorry, go ahead, James.
Let the destruction begin.
Actual geopolitical threats will change anything. I feel like the only thing we can do at this point is starve Russia out. We're wealthier than them by metrics. I mean, ally with all the countries in their periphery, sanction their leaders, cripple their economy, wait for them to bleed out, and then when they're ready to play ball, they can be a nice, compliant country.
I mean,
man, this nigga ain't talking points the fuck on
Eastern Ukraine as well. But if they're going to be like
sanctions
that,
on Russia,
we wanted like 10 seconds.
Not as much.
Okay.
If they're like
sanctions on Russia is what I'm saying. That would hurt a lot of civilians.
Not as much as their missile strikes would hurt Eastern Ukrainians, right? Again, keep in mind, this isn't out of spite. If actual geopolitical threats will change anything, I feel like the only thing we do at this point is starve Russia out. We're wealthier than them by metrics. I mean, ally with
He play for enough few seconds because this at the beginning. Look at Kyle's reaction. So just if you guys don't know, I think this is recently, like Kyle and Voss was having a conversation about Syria or whatever because they disagreed. Yeah, they had a disagreement, and then Kyle's reaction is hilarious, bro. Kyle always say, "Oh, Voss, man, I like this dude, man, but we got a small disagreement." How is this a small disagreement?
Yeah,
like you have Voss literally calling for economic war and war crimes against Russian people, a country of 100 million plus people. He calling for starvation because they are not given to Western chauvinistic domination of the globe. Dude, guys, do you know how crazy this is? Eastern Ukraine is 90% ethnic Russian. Like, what are we doing? But sorry, rewind it like 10 seconds and then let it play. I want you guys to see Kyle Kalinski's reaction because I think this says a lot, right? Because this is the exact moment that Kyle realized he platformed a neocon and said he was friends with a neocon. But he's like, oh, light bulb, this is a small disagreement. This is not a small disagreement. He is calling for war crimes against the Russian people. And then Kyle brings up, like, bro, they'll lead to civilian deaths. He's like, who cares? I'd rather have U.S. Global domination, which has not been better for nobody. But sorry, replay that. There's so much to say about it, but replay this.
Yeah, my bad. First time, I thought my bad was something.
All right.
Cripple their economy, wait for them to bleed out, and then when they're ready to play ball, they can be nice, compliant country.
Even Kyle was like,
there's a lot of civilians that hurt.
Hang on. Look what Kyle has to say.
There's a lot of civilians that hurt in that scenario.
In Eastern Ukraine as well, yeah. But if they're going to be like
sanctions on Russia, is what I'm saying. That would hurt a lot of civilians.
Not as much as their missile would hurt Eastern Ukraine, right? Again, keep in mind, this isn't...
It's missing off of me.
Huh?
It's breaking up.
Oh. Yeah, so JB, copy the link of that. I can try to share it because the video's quality is not the best right now for some reason.
That's what the fuck Kyle ass get from trying to stick in the middle. This is what liberalism gets you. It always will usher in fascism every fucking time. Every time. You gave us Hitler, you gave us Reagan, you gave us Biden. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
All right, I put it it's in the private chat.
All right, here, just let's remove take the share off here. Because the video was kind of choppy. It was kind of choppy.
Okay, might be my internet.
I just want to play Cal's part again, real quick.
Yeah, it's about in the middle.
Oh shit, my weed man here. I'll be right back.
Actual geopolitical threat will change anything. I feel like the only thing we can do at this point is starve Russia out. We're wealthier than them by metrics. I mean, ally with all the countries in their peripheries, sanction their leaders, cripple their economy, wait for them to bleed out, and then when they're ready to play ball, they can be a nice, compliant country.
I mean, but there's a lot of civilians that get hurt in that scenario.
In Eastern Ukraine as well, yeah. But if they're going to be like
sanctions on Russia, is what I'm saying. That would hurt a lot of civilians.
Not as much as their missile strikes would hurt Eastern Ukrainians, right? Again, keep in mind, this isn't out of spite. If actual...
What? Not more than their missiles will hurt. Guys, economic sanctions are warfare that he even admit, like, bro, there are 100 million Russians. Bro, this is insane. He is calling for a war crime, and Kyle realizes, like, this is not a small disagreement. It's not a small disagreement. And that what Kyle would say, like, y'all platform Vosh. I like them. We got small disagreements. At what point does it stop becoming a disagreement, becoming like a crucial issue, right? Like they will never. It's just crazy that this is. Anyway, I have a theory though. Because I had a lot of faith in the Zoomers. At first, but I see a coordinated push, and this is why you see Hassan. He's giant. Destiny. He's giant. Vosh. He's giant. You guys think that our State Department and military industrial complex machine have not adjusted to the new age of information? So in order to reach these new Zoomers, they got these Twitch streamers who repeat neoliberal Democratic Party talking points to the T. So what? Like I say, I don't accuse people of being CIA. I just saying if you follow their playbook to the T, if you repeat the talking points on foreign policy all the time, what does that say? Like, that's a breakdown of someone who has no idea about the conflicts, no idea that the CIA was fucking training and funding neo-Nazis in the Ukraine. So this is the side you want to prop up. There's not even much to say about that, but that's it's just
I would just say, I honestly think that because Destiny, Vosh, and Destiny, Vosh, and Hassan, they all play video. They were all like gamers, like on Twitch, and So basically, it was a way for them to reach people that followed them as gamers who may not have known that much about politics, and then to teach them about politics, but not in the right way. And since they already had the gamer following, then they could just teach those people about it. And so this goes back to what Caleb Maupin was talking about the whole Breadtube thing. These are the type of people, this is what they do. Like they'll pretend, they'll say that they're like libertarian socialists or that they're just socialists, but at the same time, they're pro like imperialists. They'll preach imperialism, they'll be pro-war, and they do it in like such a way. And I talked about this before with Vosh. He does it in such a tone, such a calm tone, that if you're not really paying attention to what he's saying word for word, it can just go right over your head. And you may not realize like what he's actually like telling you to do. But I will say, like that whole exchange between Vosh and Kyle, I honestly think this is just all a game. I think Vosh and Kyle, I think they know exactly who each other is. And I think that they're doing this for clicks and views. I don't believe that, as much as we know about Vosh, like I don't believe that this is Kyle's first time realizing that, oh, well, Vosh might be like pro war, pro conflict here. I think he realized that. And if you notice the exchange, like Vosh made this video basically calling out Kyle about Russia and Ukraine and Hassan at the same time. And Hassan and Vosh will go back and forth calling each other out. And I honestly think this is just for clicks and views. I don't think they're not aware of each other and what each other is doing. I think, especially with Kyle, since he was complaining recently that he's being suppressed. I mean, me and JB joked around about that. I think this is just a way for him to get more subscribers and get more views, particularly people who might be on Twitch, to get that Twitch crowd to come on over to YouTube. I'm just thinking about this from like a marketing perspective, and that's actually a smart thing to do. But I honestly think this is all just for clicks and views. They're just trying to outrage people so more people will click on these videos.
Yeah, everything they do is for clicks and views. That's why they still make insane Trump videos. They still make like they make Fox News reaction videos, which is completely irrelevant, right? We all know the right wing is crazy. Like they make videos that are not valid because they have no foot in the game. Like why I will never understand why people listen to like multimillionaires, people who invest into a career. Like Hassan openly said, even when he was criticizing us, I'm not an activist, I'm more of an entertainer. Yeah. But why are you criticizing activists then? You're a millionaire. Stay in your fucking lane. Well, that's what they do. That's what they do. They put themselves as the authority.
Yeah, no, it's true. And then, I mean, like, I don't think
it's funny.
This is what happens when you get like these big egos, right? Like you get like this big ego and you just think that you can say, you're at this point, you can say whatever you want and it's not really going to affect you. Well, that backfired last year when Kyle told people to unsubscribe from him and thousands of people unsubscribed. So when he was saying, he was complaining about not being able to get to 1 million and that he's not gaining any subscribers, me and JB were just laughing because we're just like, yo, you told people to leave. What do you expect people to do? You thought all those people was going to stay around for that BS of an argument? So thousands of people unsubscribed. So yes, when you have that many people unsubscribe from you in one day, the algorithm is not going to mess with you. It's not going to want to promote you.
That's a good point, Sabi, because remember when I broke down the Sam Cedar-Jackson debate, and I remember when it first happened, I was like, why would Sam Cedar do this? Like, why would he sign up to debate this young kid? Because Jackson was making great video that was getting a lot of clicks against them. And they are so shameless that despite how bad Sam Cedar is getting embarrassed, I still believe they are loving it. They are loving the feud with Jackson, and that's why they are continuing it, because it's actually great for their clicks. It's great for Jackson, but it's also great for them. They may be humiliated to like in our point of view, the working class, like anyone who's a working class person who see what's going on, like, man, these people are fucking chumps. But that's not their crowd. They just here to get any clicks possible, even if it's hate clicks. That's what they don't really care. There's no skin in the game. Sam Cedar even said it during the interview, right? I don't care.
But it backfired. It's backfiring on Majority Report because I sent that link. Can I
Yeah, you can share it if you can, right?
Yeah. Let me pull it up because I sent that link where like after that debate, now now I found it. So now Majority Report's viewers are starting to question them about the Democratic Party. I'm gonna play this clip for you guys. And like they got triggered. They got triggered by the comments that was coming from their audience.
Oh,
and
this is gonna be an interesting year. This is gonna be an interesting year.
Oh, where you guys been all last year? Where y'all been? Like, this is what people have been saying. This is what happens when you get outside of your bubble. So this is what they said on this is a caller, one of their viewers. I guess they put this in the chat and they're reading this out loud. So listen to this.
Have when Democrats fail miserably in their policy making. Chantel, Sam, Emma, what stakes do you have when Democrats fail miserably in their policy making? Your show will continue to do well. You will have money to sustain. Many of your listeners, like me, have a lot at stake. Don't you think that defines the way people demand for an alternative to Dems and get disheartened, unlike you, who has absolutely nothing at stake, actually? Well,
I mean, we live in this country, and also I would say that it's not like we're getting paid the big bucks to do this. We're in this because we care, I think, more than the average.
Because we care.
I don't understand. Like, I mean, if you think that that's the only issue, then there's very little that I could actually discuss.
Yeah.
I think it's doing you a bigger disservice to treat like the People's Party or the Green Party without skepticism. I think it's leading people up a worse dead end than saying this is actually a long process that is going to take, exerting force on a whole bunch of different ends. And like, I don't really get that we're not disenchanted with the Democratic Party, just saying that nothing else has come to say like, oh, there's the new vehicle, definitely. Like, and I don't know, it's just childish besides that.
I would also say that if you are relying on only the uninsured people in this country to bring about Medicare for all, you will be SOL. Bottom line. That will not happen.
Or anything without allies. I mean, it's not even, it's any movement. You need allies, you need people who've been affected in the past, but are in better situations. It's just not a very,
shocked as to the assertion that we do not feel the ramifications of policy in the United States as people that live in the United States.
You live in New York. It's like impossible to survive here. I don't know. And also on top of it all, it's not like your business.
I'm gonna finish it, but I wanted to just chime in and say when they said they live in New York, it's impossible to survive here. Guys, they're all wealthy. Yeah, they live in New York, but they're wealthy.
The gaslighting is so insane. Like these people are millionaires.
And Emma Vigilan's parents are rich.
Yeah,
she comes from a rich family.
That's why she couldn't. That's why she couldn't say that shit, Sabi. She couldn't even say that shit with a straight face, talking about we feel that.
Listen to her body language. Her body language knows she literally lying to people. Like, because Emma, like Sabi said, she come from wealth. Senator been a millionaire for decades now, right? And he came from money as well. So they are lying to their viewers to mislead them into thinking they have a pro working class approach. So they think that a pro working class approach is working within the Democrat Party. Like, what else? What other way I can think of breaking it down than that? It's just blatantly lying to their viewers.
I'm gonna go back in because it gets worse.
Business model is set on Democrats sucking because, like, newsflash, numbers are down across the board for anybody without Trump in office.
Right. Then we would not be this. In fact, fact giving a nuanced perspective on the Democrats' failures is actually less lucrative in this online space.
And yeah, I mean,
exactly.
Yeah. I know plenty of people who also, frankly, do this for a living that don't have health insurance, and they have same positions that I do.
Just because you see us
I don't
on
think your fever dream is any more, useful.
Just because you see us on the internet does not mean we're sitting on a pot of gold here.
Well, but even that's largely irrelevant. I mean, I was against the Iraq War, and I can tell you that it did not impact my life one iota. And sadly, I think for the overwhelming number of Americans, it did not impact their life one iota, not one iota, unless you had a family member in the military, or unless you had relatives in Iraq. That was the whole story of that entire war.
What?
It doesn't
hold on, wait a minute.
impact my life
Hold up.
one way or another, whether we abandon
Huh?
What did he just say?
What?
You guys just hear that?
We want that. I think that's very significant. You want to go back like 20 seconds?
Like they say, run that thing back, run that thing back.
Just like what they say this shit out loud. I don't get how do they say this shit out loud, bro?
A family member in the military, or unless you had relatives in Iraq. That was the whole story of that entire war. It doesn't impact my life one way or another, whether we abandon Afghanistan as we've done. It doesn't impact my life largely as to whether we show no humanity to immigrants. I mean, I could go on and on and on.
At least immediately.
If you are looking for, you think that the only people who can advocate or analyze or criticize Democrats in their failures are people who are directly impacted by them, then I think you're going to find that there's just not going to be enough people associated to make any change.
And historically, that's not the case, right? There's, for every Cesar Chavez, there's an FDR, and I understand it's complicated. There's a Karl Marx who's being subsidized by his best friend's, father's factory. I mean, there are many people and points in history where people in privilege or on, the beginning of having some form of privilege have fought for, everybody below them and on the ground. That's just how movements work. You have allies showing up, the March on Washington that were not Black Americans, but were union.
I know they're not comparing themselves to revolutionaries.
It's not realistic.
This person needs content.
I know they're not comparing themselves to revolutionaries.
Blackmail because they can't say that the Green Party or the People's Party, the things that I've supported, are actually going to accomplish stuff either. So you just revert to this sort of.
I want to get Ron's thoughts as well, but this is something that's important to highlight here, right? Because I wanted to redirect the conversation to something important, because they're playing the childish game, like, well, they was lying, like, oh my God, not too privileged, but then they realized, like, oh shit, people know our background, so then they had to scale it back, and they're like, well, even if you are privileged, it doesn't matter if you're privileged. It's about what you represent. Because they realized, like, okay, I can't go with that line. So I actually agree to this point. I'll pass it right to you, Ron. I'll pass it right to you. I actually agree to the point that if you're a class trader, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. Like, if you're rich, if you're like Susan Sarandon, there's nothing wrong with that if you're on our side. But if you're sheep herding to people to the Democratic Party, right, if you say you don't care about the State Department getting more funding, if you say you don't care about the squad funding for the police more, that's literally the result of your privilege. So the reason why you're telling people to go to the Democratic Party in the first place, the reason why you have your position that you can reform the Democratic Party is rooted in your privilege. The fact that they don't understand that is shocking. But Rome, I want to get Rome in here. What's your thought?
Like, she's comparing them and these revolutionary leaders who might have had a background of privilege and used it for good. You are doing that. You guys aren't doing that. You're not on the streets like these people was. You aren't organizing unions. You're not out there putting your life on the line. You're sitting back here chilling for the Democratic Party, telling people it's going to be okay, vote for them, and we're going to see another. Don't make that type of comparison. I mean, yes, there is good class traders out there, but when you're speaking about you guys, especially her ass, with all that bullshit that she was saying, all those words that she took up for, stop it. You're nothing like them. You can be. You will never be nothing like them. No matter what.
Yeah, let me go ahead. Let me jump in before you resume. But this is not a good look. You have 3 privileged white people actually say out loud they're not impacted by people of color dying or being oppressed. That's literally what he's saying. And this is the exact reason I said earlier in the stream, and I said it to on the Nick and CJ show. This is the reason we cannot have rich, white, liberal, progressives, leftists, whatever label you want to have, as the main voices. Because the advice they're going to give is from a place of privilege. It's not from so we're never going to accomplish anything if we team up with them, because they're always going to stop short of actually doing the things that we need to do to what we need to get. And they're talking about it right here explicitly. I just can't believe Sam Cedar said that. Maybe he's going to be retiring soon or something, because that was ridiculous how he said, I'm not impacted by this. He is not impacted by this. A rich white liberal is telling his leftist audience, or I don't think they're leftist, but liberal audience, he's not impacted. Those people listening to him are probably saying, yeah, I'm not impacted, but I still can be for this. See, I can still be for this.
Well, he voted for Hillary. He voted for Hillary.
This is the problem with them having the mic. This is the problem. What do we expect the left movement to be, the status the left movement to be in, when these are the people that's leading it? Them, Sam Cedar. What do we expect us to be? What do we and as Black people, what do we expect our issues to be when these are the people that are the voices of the left? What do you expect it to be? Why do you think we are in the condition we're in? Because rich, white, liberal, leftist, progressive, to me, there's all the same. No, I'm sorry. Liberal and progressive is the same, not leftist. Liberal and progressive is the same. But clearly, this person cannot advocate for us. Clearly, just based off what he's saying.
I'm going to go back in. It gets worse.
Oh, no.
How?
Well, I'd also love to see the same questioning of those parties as they throw at the Democratic Party. You know, I always ask who's funding the Democratic Party. I'm also curious who's funding the Green Party and who's funding the People's Party, because they're not very transparent about that either. There's no membership. At least the DNC has elections. They're broken, but at least they have elections. So show me. I'd love to know how your party is better.
The real,
not seeing it.
The real alternative to this, in my sense, is like independent socialists like Robin Warloba in Minneapolis. And guess what? Those people don't run their campaigns mainly just shitting on Democrats. They run in primaries, but they say, like, we don't care about the Democratic endorsement. We just want this position of power. But they understand that voters, especially the ones that they're going to try to turn out on election day, aren't going to want that just let's flame Democrats for 90% of the time as part of your campaign. That's just not, it's not realistic.
And the truth is, Bernie's movement, you just captured it, Matt. This is the hard truth about Bernie's movement. He had so many the majority of his movement, people who voted for him, were Democrats. You think that unions are going to leave the Democratic Party anytime soon? Well, guess what? You just cut out a big chunk of this progressive movement. It's unions are flawed. They need to be strengthened, but I'm going to guess they're not going to sign up for the Green Party anytime soon, because they have to negotiate with Democratic legislatures and Democratic governors on getting funding. And I mean, that's what happens in New York. So there's a reality to how these movements and these parties are built.
Because I hate how they use these unions, how they use these unions like this is they are the go front of the workers. 90% of workers aren't even unionized. If you want real shit to happen, unionize those workers. You don't need to talk to these unions that's already made. Most of them already corrupt as shit.
I was just about to say that. They're already in the Democrats' pocket, and that's why they keep saying it, Rome.
Go back to the Democratic Party. No, we have more than enough people. The majority of America don't fucking vote. Even the ones who shunned off, the people who's in prison, the people who have felonies, the people who can't vote, we can just take those people and do something. Like, come on, man. That bullshit.
It gets worse.
It looks, but just, I don't know if your stomach is turning listening to the discussion between three privileged people cosplaying leftists. Like, this is truly a disgusting, vile, like just how they're just so nonchalant about this cavalier, like it's just a team sport. Like, this is why, because things don't impact them, they don't understand this is not a team sport. We're dealing with people's lives here.
Let's finish the clip, Sabi.
Okay.
It's crazy.
As much as he was an independent, he caucused with Democrats and he worked with the Democratic Party to run for the Democratic presidential nomination.
That's
liberals listen to them. Liberals listen to them. There's no way. There's no leftists. Do you guys know any leftists that listen to them? No, seriously. We know a lot of leftists. I
haven't watched Majority Report since Michael Brooks died. That was the only reason I watched Majority Report. I didn't watch the CMC.
I never really vibe with them, but like I would see clips of TYT and Majority Report, and I'm like, oh, that wasn't that bad. That back before I was too radicalized.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, when you see that now, that's no revolutionary discipline, no historical reference to explain their point of view. It's just hopium. Like that is literally just hopium. Like pray to God that we can get some good people in this broken system, that this will work. Like, and they are working backward for their conclusion. Their conclusion will always be, we must fight within the Democratic Party because that is how my career lined up, and that is a comfortable place for me to be. Like the way they talk about third parties that lacks no leftist thought, because we explain our concept and what we see what we want to see out of a third party. I want to see a third party become a worker movement. Like we've seen Chris Hedges talk about this. We've seen Dr. Professor Wolf talk about this. Why is there no emphasis on the working class movement that can work together as a unit that can put pressure on the establishment and the ruling class? There is literally no emphasis on their analysis on a horizontal movement. You know, it's all top down. The whole thing is trust the top, keep fighting, organizing for the top, and allow the top to take care of you. And if that's not, and if that doesn't work, you got to keep working harder and get more people on top. There's no analysis about mutual aid, about how you build community, like nothing that's any sort of leftist or Marxist thought, man. Like this is like when you see this stuff, this is why like socialists in the global South, this is why communists in the East, this is why they look down on the United States left. If you ask yourself, and as someone who used to be really sold on the idea of taking over the Democratic Party, as someone who used to really thought that like the Bernie campaign was the way to go, I used to be shocked. Like after Super Tuesday, I was shocked. Like, how the hell could we lose? I remember both elections, I was shocked that we lost. But now that I'm a little bit smarter, a little bit wiser, now that I watch these clips, I'm like, bro, we never stood a chance. Of course we lost. There's no way we was gonna win with these fucking people at the lead. Of course we lost. But anyway, I want to get your guys' thoughts.
I was just gonna say, here's the other part. This is only like a minute long, but this is where like they get really triggered. And again, you got to keep in mind these comments are coming in after Sam had that debate with Jackson a couple days after. So now I think they're getting hit with questions they're not used to receiving from people, like people being like, "Yo, maybe this is a lost cause." So they get pretty upset with this one. Mute myself.
St. Paul, I don't think you should be so dismissive of the anti-Dem messages that are becoming more common. The point is, I don't know that they're becoming more or less
more common. What is with the IMs today?
The point is that we don't have time for long-term accelerationism may be almost certain to fail, but it's not unreasonable to conclude that working with centrist Dems is absolutely certain to fail. We have to face up to the risk that progressive cooperation with the Dem establishment will lead to nihilism for a critical mass of supporters. Well, first off, I don't see evidence of that.
Right.
What?
I just
what? That along,
right? Which will lead you to just nihilism. Period.
Which I think people should steel themselves against that,
without a doubt.
You can't have acceleration. You can't be an acceleration. Have a movement of accelerating.
Accelerate what?
Yeah. What are we accelerating?
There's no movement.
Forcing the vote. You're out of your fucking mind if you think that's a serious way to address.
There is absolutely zero historical precedent for accelerationism. It's a made-up thing because you want to work backwards from your nihilism about the Democratic Party. Stop pretending there's any coherence.
Someone never studied revolution.
Enough.
She seems pressed.
You see how triggered? See?
Yes.
We coming after your parents' money. You damn right,
bro. I told you, Sam fucked up. Cedar fucked up because now that audience that CJ was talking about, remember CJ like liberals listen to this shit. Yeah, because Cedar he lost the real leftists and real progressives.
Yeah,
even people to my right, like people who are real stock Dems. Like these people are like, man, these people are stuck now. They don't even watch them for real no more. It's like the people who click on the Trump videos, right? Like the Trump liberals, right? Trump derangement syndrome liberals. They are now seeing arguments to the alternative. Now the whole Jackson thing going on, and whenever they like did Jimmy Dore, they would did Jimmy Dore and say he's a right winger, but they would never present his arguments, right? They would just always like clip him, put him out of context, so you never hear his argument about why he should lead the Democratic Party. So he fucked up because that's the first time a lot of them actually heard a longer form conversation where you actually had a Marxist-Leninist explain why we can't take over the Democratic Party. So now some of them hear this for the first time. They're like, what?
Yeah.
Emma explain this. Emma explain this. And Emma like, how do you question again? We losing the narrative. We losing the narrative. That video, man.
They call us nihilists, and they just sit back and say they don't give a fuck about kids being bombed and accelerationist when we don't have health care in the pandemic and 1 million plus already died. Like who the fuck you talking to?
Okay. Wait, can you break down the question the person answered? Can you break down that question the person asked? They said, what did they say? They said
they were asking about people basically like wanting to leave the Democratic Party, like not do it through the Democratic Party.
That was the question.
Focus on accelerationism.
And then they were like, accelerationism doesn't work, and that progressives teaming up. What was the nihilism part?
That was the Brooklyn Dad line. That was the Brooklyn Dad. She's like, what the fuck is I just played a video of Brooklyn Dad where he was preaching about acceleration theory. You can't do acceleration theory. Bro, people hit the streets. Like this whole thing is a fucking false fucking what's the word? Like it's a false premise. That's what I'm thinking about, right?
What is acceleration
theory doesn't work. We got to advocate for incrementalism. Like, stop using those terms for one, because think about how revolutions takes place. People hit the street when there is a breaking point.
Yeah,
there has to be a breaking point. So people who fearmonger over acceleration theory, they say, "Oh my God, we got to advocate for incrementalism because if we let things get worse, that causes greater human suffering. So we can't advocate for that. So we got to advocate for incrementalism." So what I say, I don't even have to argue that premise. I say the premise is wrong because you are claiming that acceleration theory is a bad thing. We shouldn't advocate for it. And I'm saying I'm not advocating for acceleration theory. No one advocates for that. It's the consequence of the state we live in, right? So if going through the Democratic Party and Republican Party won't lead through change like we know it will, that's not me being an acceleration theory advocate. That's me saying that the only option we have is shutting shit down. You see how it's a false premise? There's no such thing as acceleration theory versus incrementalism. That's something that rich motherfuckers like Brooklyn Dad and Emma Vigeland apparently repeat. It's supposed to kill revolutionary thought. You can't have revolution because that's acceleration theory, and that will make people's lives worse in the immediate. And you can't do that. You see how people who are supposed to be leftists are repeating bullshit capitalist propaganda? If you're anyone left of center, you should not be repeating this nonsense.
By the way, they're all connected to like the squads, like teams and stuff like that too, by the way. They're all very well connected with like progressives in Congress. So just keep that in mind when you listen to like their talking points.
I gotta say this. You can have a movement outside of the Democratic Party. I'll repeat, you can have a movement outside of the Democratic Party. And the crazy part, we're not the acceleration. There's people who use millionaires, they're the accelerationists. Because what have they been doing? Accelerating the system to the point where people are now at their wits' end because of the system that they're subjected to. And now you're sheep herding them to continue to keep that same system. And now you're saying, you know what? We just got to hold up. We got to slow down. Wait a minute. You guys got to wait. What did James Baldwin say? You told my father to wait. You told my uncle to wait. You told my grandfather to wait. And guess what? How long are we going to have to wait? What did JFK said? JFK said that those who prevent a peaceful revolution make a violent revolution inevitable. They're doing that right now. So guess what? the people who you serve, hello, MSNBC, the people you serve are the ones who are the real executionists. Truth be told, we're advocating for a general strike, which is the most peaceful revolution we have. And even still, you guys are like, oh, you can't do that. You guys can work through the Democratic Party. And it's like, wait, have you been looking at talking to regular people who have a salary below $100,000? Apparently not, because guess what? You guys are still saying, oh, we just got to go through the Democratic Party. Incrementalism, rah, rah, rah. While everybody else is sitting out here dying. Not one iota of, not one iota of making, having a sense of urgency. Because people like Nomiki Konst, and yes, I just looked it up, have a net worth of between $1 and $4 million. No means of sense of urgency for those of us that are truly disenfranchised. Hi, disenfranchised person here. Welcome to my story. I'm actually disabled, I'm Black, and I'm gay, and I'm also living a hair's breadth above the poverty line, which the United States actually puts as a poverty line, which is actually bullshit because the poverty line should be around $50,000 or less. But I digress. But still, you know what I mean? So this is one of the reasons why when people like me end up suffering, because mind you, they're trying to take my food stamps away because I only got a little 5% increase for disability. So now I can't really get food like I want to. Thanks Biden. But yet you guys want to do incrementalism, over time. And guess what? We don't have the time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right? Look, I see CJ, he's but ain't really. Look, the earth has no time for that. So guess what? Incrementalism ain't doing shit. So guess what? We got to change roads, bro. Like I said, we got to change those roads. And guess what? Going down a road where both lanes are blocked, trying to see the lane is not going to work. Cross that median, go the direction. I'm done.
JB, you got everybody saying change roads, bro, by the way. Change roads, bro.
Oh, Lord.
I think we got time. At least I have one more time for my story because I'll also be live on International Leftist. We still got plenty of time. That's 9 p.m. Eastern. So we're gonna have we got a ton to talk about in terms of foreign policy today.
I'm hot.
But I think we got time for one more story. But thanks for the super chat. So Gato, nihilism is taking responsibility for what you want. There you go. Thanks comment. Nice comment. I'm trying to find the I'm gonna get other story ready. Someone take over real quick.
I think there's one more, Nick.
There's another one.
Someone
read the chat. I'm gonna get the story about due ready.
The Constitution says that we must hold elections every 4 years. It doesn't mention specific political parties anywhere in that document. Thank you very much for the super chat, and that is true. Mm-hmm. So, and by the way, can we just also say that the Constitution and not some holy ass document that was brought down by God? It is an imperfect document that was written by imperfect men. By the way, a little side note. Just found out that the average age of all the people who signed the Declaration of Independence were around 35, 40. So take that what you will. And so, like, they didn't live that long. Like, I don't want to be ageist because guess what? A lot of us are between 35 and 40. But my thing is, it's an imperfect document written by imperfect people and thus needs to be ratified all the time. By the way, the 13th Amendment needs to be ratified. But
the funny thing is when people act like the American Constitution, this amazing work of literature, as if other countries don't have constitutions. Right. Bro, there's literally nothing in our Constitution that's special. Like, we jacked the Magna Carta. We wrote the Constitution that did not forbid slavery. Like, I don't understand why people think the first and then the Second Amendment is literally a joke. For example, like, we're Marxists, and this is perfect segue for our next story. So I'm gonna explain another reason why the Second Amendment is ultimately a joke, right? Because we're Marxists, we're pro-gun. I'm very pro-gun. But they say, oh, the Second Amendment is against government tyranny. It gives you the right to bear arms. If you're against a tyrannical government, that allows you to defend yourself against a tyrannical government. Bro, where does this apply? We have been living under a tyrannical government for how long? So if the police kills someone innocent in your community, and everyone's seeing on camera, and then you take arms against the police, and like, okay, this is tyranny. You guys are killing our neighbors. You're stealing our wealth. We're gonna implement our Second Amendment right and overthrow you guys. They will be in prison real quick. So what is this Second Amendment you guys are talking about? I literally don't know what you guys are talking about. Because if I want to liberate my community from this neoliberal capitalist state, we cannot do that. And if we do that, we will be deemed terrorists. So when you guys say we got the Second Amendment, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Black people, we don't have, I don't know what you mean by this. I don't know. But anyway, that's my question.
That's why I'm like, it's funny you say that, because like I got a fucking constitution, even though it's half-ass written right now. Even my dumb ass got a constitution. It's not hard. All you gotta do is write some bullshit to say, hey, this is what we need for the people. This is what the people need, and this is what we can deliver, basically, and this is what we will deliver on our end, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it's nothing special about it. And it was written by slave owners. Like, who gives a fuck? Mm-hmm. It's so flawed. But we need to cancel out the Constitution completely. Like, all them laws need to go. Every law need to be rewritten. We shouldn't have to fight for this and turn around and fight for that. Like, no.
Wrong. They say we radical, because my position, I said we should, like, if you're a true leftist, anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist, I think it's a high goal, but we should be looking towards abolishing the Supreme Court. And then people to my right, like social democrats, they were like, "Oh my, you advocating for abolishing the Supreme Court? We shouldn't do that." Okay, if you don't think we should do that, let me propose a scenario for you. Let's say you guys prove us wrong. You did the impossible. You did it. You took over the Democratic Party. You guys got the Senate. You guys did the House. You proved us wrong. You proved electoral politics work. You got Medicare for all through the House. It passed through the Senate. Fuck, the president actually signed it. What? It goes to the Supreme Court. They're really unconstitutional. Then what? What's your plan, social democrat? The people who don't believe in violent revolution, once they start ruling your progressive policy unconstitutional, like they will. Joe Biden said if it actually reached his desk, he will veto Medicare for all, right? That guy gets to pick the next Supreme Court pick. So if Biden would veto Medicare for all, why do you guys think he wouldn't put someone on the Supreme Court who was really unconstitutional? And we had neoliberal and insane conservative judges put throughout this country. So this thing you guys have, we're going to take over the legislative branch and implement socialism. That's not going to happen because we got to take out the courts. You guys see how their plan is flawed. But anyway, we're going too much on spiral. Anyone want to add to this before I get to the story?
I just wanted to give a shout out for the super chat. He says, after the banking collapse of 2000, people of Iceland were given a chance to crowdsource a brand new constitution.
Iceland actually prosecuted the Wall Street bankers and the people who committed crimes in the financial crash. Can you imagine this fucking utopian society that actually fucking prosecutes Wall Street bankers? We are miles away from Iceland. They actually prosecuted their goddamn bankers.
Yeah.
So with that said, let's get to the story. I want to give you guys a reaction to this. We have about 20 minutes. So I hope we make it clear the difference between liberals and someone who is truly a leftist, someone who truly believe in Marxist thought, whether you're a Marxist-Leninist, no matter where you fall on that spectrum. If you believe in Marxist thought, we are pro-gun. Why will you advocate for disarming the working class, especially in a neoliberal police state? Do not say shit about me about disarming people until we disarm the police and the military, and then we can don't even talk to me about that shit until the police and the military don't have guns anymore. That's where our stance should be. The working class should never ever give up their guns. Now, especially if you're a black man in this capitalist neoliberal state, do not allow the liberal class to convince you to disarm yourself. Now, this is a funny video, right? And I want to show you guys how the police state go after us and they criminalize us. The result of broken windows policing. I want to give you. I want to show this video. This is very funny. We saw this on Twitter. And this is why the police does nothing but fuck with the working class. Do you guys feel safe and secure by this? I thought this is hilarious. This was tweeted last month. This is why we need we need to stay armed against these people. But we'll check this video out. This is hilarious.
I ain't got that card, that license for their ass. My man legal took that glick on him. Yeah, give him his shit back. Hold on, we gotta record him giving it back. Look, give that back to him.
Oh my God, Lord.
One more time.
For their ass. My man legal took that glick on him. Yeah, give him his shit back. Hold on, we gotta record him giving it back. Look, give that back to him.
He was so mad.
Stupid. Y'all are jealous.
That's probably my favorite video. That's one of my favorite videos. Holy shit! So that dude with the gloves, that tall white cop with the gloves, he was fuming. He was like, "Bro, give me a reason. I swear to God, if I get a reason to go, give me a reason to arrest y'all. I remember. I'm eventually remember all those.
Yeah.
Bro, they was so mad. Oh my God. That's how everyone should treat the cops. You guys know police are resigning en masse right now. I covered this on my show. Cops are resigning en masse because my position is if we cannot defund the police through the government, which is obviously not going to happen, at least let's make being a cop a social stigma.
Yes.
The NYPD, and I read it, they was offering retired police officers a $5,000 cash bonus, a raise, and increased vacation time. And then a vast majority of them, I don't remember a number on top of my head, but I reported, but like 90% was like, fuck you. Hell no. Nah. And the funny thing is, they wrote that story as propaganda for the police. It was one of those stories that was like, the defund the police movement is making it harder to hire police officers. Less people are coming back from retirement because of the defund the police movement. And I'm like, that's a great thing. But they leaving because they used to people kissing their ass, and they admit it. In these interviews, they're like, I never felt so disrespected in my life. People used to respect the police officer, but then ever since they protested, and people have been woke. Now people are woke because the defund slogan is so good.
Like shit,
so good, woke people up. Now I'll pass it right to you, Ron. But it was like, oh my God, if we don't got to respect them no more, so we're gonna quit. That's why they can't get people back out of retirement. But Ron, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, you know, nigga, I did like the police, but I was walking past and they just hit me with a rubber bullet. Like, you know, we talked about it before with the young woman who was walking with her child. She was walking past the protest. She stayed right there near where a protest was going on, Black Lives Matter protest, where the cops came and escalated some things, and people got hurt, and they shot her in her face. Damn near shot her eye on her face. But yeah, Andre,
I want to make
much love, man. We just gotta keep the show moving. We love you, man. We see you, putting you up there. We got you, man. But,
yeah. I didn't see the super. It was been going back. If not exception.
You're breaking up, JB, or at least to me, you're breaking up.
But all right. Can you hear me still?
JB, you need to get in a good spot, bro. Pardon me, just
I can hear you a little bit better. Can hear you a little bit better.
Yeah.
And
somebody else can read it, I guess.
Yeah, it said, "What is Biko and Mandela if not celebrationist?" So when Emma did that thing, like, celebration theory is not rooted in any sort of history. For one, remember I said reject her framing, but the reason why you reject her framing is because the framing is false, and saying that it's a historical could not be further from the truth, because all revolution is social change is built on the premise of people who reach the breaking point. The question is, what is that breaking point? Now, I remember when I said we should not vote for Joe Biden, I said, I don't care who wins. Even if Trump wins, that at least will get people more radicalized. People say you can't do that because that's accelerationism. Since you don't want to vote for Jim Crow Joe, you want things to get worse. And I'm like, bro, that is not what I'm advocating for. My position is things are going to get worse anyway. So we got to organize and protect our community instead of enabling the power structures that destroy our communities in the first place. Because
well, Nick, let's look at it the other way. Look at it the other way. So if you're not advocating, what they're advocating for is for us to live in a perpetual way of a perpetual terrible state.
False peace.
You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So
I just want to say false peace. It's false peace.
But yeah, that's exactly. It's like peace, and I think it was JB who
it was MLK peace in the heart of well, no, was it MLK who was it called? I'm blanking on it.
No, I'm thinking who tweeted it out. I think it was MLK or somebody, but the absence of like I can't remember. I don't want to.
It's like the absence of peace is not justice. Something like that. Sorry guys, I'll just butcher the quote. You guys know what we're talking about, right? The absence.
Yeah, the absence of peace is not justice. Or basically, the absence of war is not peace. Meaning, like something. Not being able to eat is not peace. Not being able to pay your bills is not peace. You got to think of peace spiritually, peace mentally, peace traumatically. It's not just, peace in war. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's right. Exactly. That's what that was talking about.
This is an MLK quote I was thinking about in my head. It said, "Peace is not merely the absence of war, but presence of justice, of law and order, and in short, the government." So what these people who advocate for incrementalism and they reject any form of a breaking point, I don't really like using the term acceleration theory because that's propaganda. So there's a breaking point, right? And if you like, I want to maintain this false peace and I don't want this breaking point to happen, you're being extremely regressive because you're advocating for this false peace, this false civil society that does not exist. And the quote meaning, if you don't have health care, if we do have a homeless population, if we have ICE detention centers that you guys used to care about, if we have these injustices, you cannot fearmonger over acceleration theory because we already there, right?
I don't think that's a thing. I don't think this is the first. Let me tell you, this is the first time I'm hearing acceleration
I heard about
theory.
it for a while. I told you, it's propaganda. It's just propaganda.
But think about this: in the world of psychology, in the world of addiction and recovery, what do they tell you? That person is not going to change until he hits what? Rock bottom. That's not gonna, and it's the same situation. So if you're describing that as acceleration, that's right. That's just propaganda because we have to hit rock bottom. Or would you rather be in the state of being addicted to alcohol, just living that way for a long time? Or would you think hitting rock bottom so that you can rise up out of it is better? You get what I'm saying?
They basically put themselves in purgatory, man.
Exactly. Where you're just living limbo, where you're not living great. And how long are you supposed to live like that? Your entire life? There's too many people of color who live their life on the boundaries of poverty, never being able to really take a vacation, never even having a passport, never even really buying a new car. All these things they've never been able to do because they've been oppressed. Why? Like white rich liberals are fine with us going through living our life like that. That's why I said that conversation those three were having was not a good look because they're fine because they're not affected by any of that stuff. They're fine with us not having health care because they have it. Let's try to get the poor people health care in the next 4 years with some other Democrats. And then while you can't get it, we'll live healthy during the next 4 years until we can try to get these peasants again some more. You get what I'm saying? It's almost like a seasonal thing for them instead of life. And and I know I kind of jumped around, but yeah, that's what I got to say.
No, that's a perfect way to sum it up. Anyone else have anything to add to that? But don't buy the premise of accelerationism because they use that to fearmonger and push people into incrementalism. No one advocates for incrementalism. No one advocates for accelerationism. But we got to tell people to do the right thing, even though there's no choice. So they push it on us like we want bad things to happen. We don't want bad things to happen. But if the choice between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, bad things are going to happen. So why enable the people and siphon revolutionary spirit from the working class by funneling to the system that's going to oppress us in the first place? But sorry. Anyway, I want to read the super chat for Noah. thing for the 999. Laws are merely answers for problems that haven't been solved yet. Check out Jacque Fresco and Buckminster Fuller. That's like that dude got a villain last name. Who's that? Buckminster
Okay,
Fuller.
it's Jacque Fresco and Buckminster Fuller.
Okay,
That's the name of names, boy.
That's like a GTA antagonist.
Okay. By the way, I did want to do one more thing right before we go. I want you guys to react to this. Sabby, I'm sorry. If you're drinking tea, do drink it now because I don't want you spitting it out. I present.
I didn't know you was gonna click it. I thought your Wi-Fi was gonna fuck up. Almost spit on my computer.
So I told, what? This is what I told.
Can you click on the picture? Can you click on it? Yeah, click on it. Yeah.
So I did my live stream on the first day of Black History Month, and I was like, man, I guess I gotta talk about this. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I told you guys, man, there's no time where our community is more disrespected than this month. Like this month is literally just a time where capitalism can whitewash MLK, whitewash our revolutionary leaders, and make money off of our history. Like this is horrific.
But they couldn't find a black model.
What is this supposed to be?
I don't know.
It is a model modeling a Black History Month shirt saying it says 1 month can't hold our history. And it's 1999 from T-Shirt Palace.
What? This is weird.
Yes, it's weird.
Oh my god!
But I don't understand why we tolerate this shit, bro. We were like, all right, we're gonna have a month. We like, you understand these holidays are literally just a way for capitalism to make money, right?
Yeah.
They like, are we gonna give you a month? We're gonna make the shortest month. We're gonna whitewash the shit out of all your leaders while we do it. Cause we're gonna bullshit and lie about people about MLK during Black History Month. We're gonna lie about Muhammad Ali. We're gonna lie about Fred Hampton. We're gonna lie about Malcolm X, and we're gonna make money selling products based on your struggle. Like this is disrespectful as fuck. Why are people okay with this? I never got sentimental.
And they just had the guy who supposedly killed Malcolm X on The View, I think today.
Yeah, they had an interview. Somebody he's been interviewing a couple of times actually.
I'm like, out of all the shit you could have talked about Malcolm, you're gonna talk about whatever.
I thought that guy died a year ago.
There was two.
Agent? Oh,
there was two of them that got, but I know there's one that's still alive. I know because there's only one that's the interview. I saw the commercial yesterday or 2 days ago.
They couldn't find just like one black model.
How did he do this without like laughing? How did he pose like that?
Just one black model. I mean, they could have got Tyra Banks. I mean, if they couldn't afford, they could have called me. I mean, I would have modeled in it.
It has 4.6 stars.
Oh wow,
that's fake.
Like, what in the world? Like, why?
That James, the reason why is to make liberals feel like they part of the struggle.
Yep.
I got this dope ass woke T-shirt. Man, I'm down for the struggle with you, aren't I?
Yeah, you got your BLM shirt.
They in the fight, man. I feel it. Like they really feel like they down with the struggle because they be having Black Lives Matter masks. Like these same people, they wear the same T-shirt and then they melt down at Susan Sarandon for calling out the police state. Like these same people think they're allies of Black people, but they are the biggest defenders of the institutions that oppress us. So the funny thing about the liberal, they will be talking to a conservative, and like the liberals, they'll talk to conservatives, and they'll be like, "I cannot believe you don't understand that racism is real. Racism is institutional suppression of Black people." And then they will go and support the institution. They're like, "I support the police. I support that's what they're doing. That's why they attacking Susan Sarandon." Because she went after the police. They were like, "These are our heroes." I'm like, bro, I thought you literally just said that institutional racism exists, but then you turn around and prop up the institutions that you claim are racist. How people don't see this shit? It's clown ass shit. And they do this all the time. They do it right in front of our face, and people don't say anything about it. And then I say I don't like the Democratic Party. They're like, "How you don't like the Democrats?" They say they represent you.
They say.
Yeah, and I'll bring up this short story because we gotta wrap up here because we always talk about how people only care about the rhetoric, and that's the same thing when people like they see the progressive rhetoric and they think that's good enough. Chantel Brown signed on to the Medicare for All bill. That's enough. That's the same thing that happened to Jamal Bowman. Despite the fact that Jamal Bowman had been voting just like Elliot Engel on all issues of Israel, you had a ton of Palestinian activists that came out in his defense because he was like, "Oh well, he at least speaks well on the issue." What?
See ya.
See you, Sabby. I think about time for first to wrap up anyway. But it's like they care more about rhetoric. They were defending Jamal Bowman because. Like, that's when the Palestinian DSA, they was about to vote him out. And they were like, you guys can't do that, man. Jamal Bowman, one of the best we have. And then I remember I was like, what do you mean? Look at his votes. They were like, well, y'all know his votes is not perfect, but we need rhetoric. I did a whole story on that. That's all they care about. But I probably got to go, too, because I got to get ready for International Leftist in an hour.
Yeah. So you want to close this out, JB?
Yep.
Yeah, so we got, I'm going to plug International Leftist. We start at 9 p.m. Eastern, so we'll take, like, 50 minutes off, and then we'll be back for an hour. We got great topics, foreign policy roundtable to talk about. That's my plug, JB. Rome, anything, guys?
All right, Rome, go ahead.
I'm chilling, you know me. I'm heading to I'm going back to Cali. I'll be with CJ, so I guess be on the lookout for that. I'm about to go. What time is it? Shit, I'm tired. I'm about to go chill.
8:06. All right.
And CJ, what you got coming up?
Let's see. International Leftist tonight, tomorrow, Saturday. Oh, Monday, Nick and CJ show. And then next week I have. I'll announce them later. I won't announce it now, but yeah, I got a special interview next week. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Special announcement. I announced it earlier, but I announced it again for new viewers. We will have Caleb Maupin on this Saturday. I have a lot of great foreign policy guests for you guys this month. We also have Luna Oy. She will be coming on for the third weekend this month. And I've been people like Luna Oy and Caleb Maupin were probably two of my most suggested guests because people know I'm like a super foreign policy nerd. And I'm looking forward to talking to Luna because I want to talk about her perspective as a Vietnamese communist. I've been peeping her. Her perspective is very, very interesting. So that's the third weekend. That's third Saturday this month. We got Caleb this week, and I got something cooking for next weekend. That next Saturday as well. So my Saturday show is gonna be dope, man. So that's my last plug I have.
All right, perfect. Just to let you guys know, also Sabby has her show tomorrow night at 6 p.m. on RBN. So make sure to watch Sabby's show. I'll have my show on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then on my channel next week on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm having on Josana. So y'all know it's gonna be one. So be prepared. So just to let you guys know. And just by the way, if you guys have not, please make sure to click that like button. Please click the notification bell because you know the YouTube algorithm does not like us. So thanks to every super chats. And if there was any super chats that we did not get to, then I dearly apologize. Things were kind of running out a million miles an hour, but we'll try to make sure that we get to them next time. Without further ado, I'd just like to thank everybody for being here. Thank you for being here, Waves. Good to see you, brother. Smoke him if you got him.